So very good afternoon, everyone. So today we are going to see a new topic, and the last topic of this chapter one, unit three, that is service technology. So service technology, the name itself, we have different services because the next coming units, which is followed for this rest of the units, is talking about the fourth unit mainly on these services like IaaS, PaaS, the SaaS services. We have different services over there. As part of this service technology, we are going to talking about the stuff like web services, what we have, REST services, what we are going to be, representation services, what with respect to technology we are seeing, and what the agents, active agents and passive agents are available in the service agents and service middleware. So let me have a glance of this over. So most probably the main theme, internal theme beside this is for providing the as services, a that is a service, as a service. Rest of the first word we can add based on the service, it will vary. It may be infra, it may be platform, it may be software, or it may be a normal middleware, or it may be a IoT as a service, or what it may be. All it depends on the first word which is going to be added over there. The rest as a service is a common. So this service technology talks about as a service. It's not specifically talking to a particular service. It's generally talking about as a service. So most of us, we have done the lab experiments on infrastructure, that is the host, how to build it. The host, on top of the host machine, we create the guest machines. And PaaS, once it is ready, PaaS is going to mostly for developing purpose. That is for building, build purpose of that. And software is only for as a acting as a servicer. That is, service provider is giving services. So consumer is consuming. That is for consuming purpose. So simply infra will focus on host, platform on focus on build, and software has focus on consume. So let me see the definition of service technology means what. So is a keystone foundation of cloud computing, because mainly what is the main objective of cloud computing? It provides for services through remote, that is online services provided, that formed as a service. The basis of the this service technology as a service for cloud delivery models. So already you are aware, cloud delivery models, we have different cloud delivery models. Among that models, we are going to providing with the help of that as a service. So we have deployment models, public, private, hybrid, and community. And with respect to that, we have also deliverable models. Like with the help of that delivery models, as per the syllabus, we have a lot of as a services, but as per the syllabus, we have only this three. So this cloud delivery models, it will be make as a key role, is a play as a vital role, this service technology. Coming to the first topic under this service technologies, web services. So while you are studying web technology, most of you have seen the markup languages, but other than that, we have another course, that is SOA, in the final year. If it is a program elective, you selected service oriented architecture, where we are going to be making some, if you want a web service, web application is different, service is different. Service is talk about how you are markupping that language is used to create a WSDL. WSDL stands for web service description language, that defines the application program interface of a web service. Meaning of this is how that API can be added into your web application to provide a web service. This API, application interface programming, that is API, application programming interface, can be added as a definition, can be defined inside this WSDL. So WSDL talking about a description language where it look like as a markup. It's look like as a markup that is going to using this create a WSDL definition, where in that WSDL definition we are adding this API, application programming interfaces of this web services we are adding. So if you combine that one, then in the markup language, we are adding this WSDL definition, where this definition will defines this API, how to access that service. Say for example, you have written a HTML view for a phone pay, for example. Now you are going to be accessing to pay a credit card bill. Now for that credit card bill, for paying of that one, we need to add this API, because credit card bill, it is for different cards will be there, right? So under that, for different banks, different APIs going to be active. So how you are going to be defining that web service description language? What's your card details? How the service will provide? Whether that card is the CVV number, the expiry date, everything you are defining. And every month renewal, automatic renewal, we can define it. So how you are defining the definition for that particular service will be make sure, and parallelly to act to enable that service, this API will be acting as a one of the interface. The second part of this web services is XML schema. So extensible markup language is going to be using for schema. Schema already you are aware. You are providing how the structure, the message exchange by web services must be expressed using XML. As already we discussed that when you have seen a product in Amazon anything, it describes the product. It describes the schema, how it look like, the size, the category of the product, the price, the cost, company details, all some set of offers with the payment details of any EMI details, all will be defined in that a particular structure format. To define that type of web services, we require in a structure format. To define that structure format, we can use XML schema definition language. So this is description, and you are defining this schema to for what message exchanged by this web services. To exchange the message exchanged by through the web services, we are going to define in this schema. The third part is SOP. That is SOP, Simple Object Access Protocol. To access this WSDLs, we are going to using SOAP, that is SOA protocol, Simple Object Access. Now SOA is another course, that is Service Oriented Architecture, that is different, and this is a protocol base, that is Simple Object Access. So the purpose is define a common message format used for request and response messages between what? Through this web services. Whatever you are defining the services with the help of these web services to exchange the messages from one to another, to request a message, to receive a message, exchanging of that, you are going to using SOA protocol, that is Simple Object Access Protocol. The fourth part is UDDI, where U stands for universal. It provides the description, discovery, and integration. Meaning of this one is we have some service registries, like we have uh, if you have in the admin settings, we have registries. If you observe in the task manager of your system, we have some number of registries are going to be running. Service registries, what are the services currently running? Services means like backend services, and also your applications which you are running, like MS Office and the other services, whatever it is running. All the services will store in this the service registries, in which WSDL defines can be published as part of the service for discovery purpose. Discovery purpose means to find out, to provide that service. So UDDI will be regulates what are the services has to be registered, whatever has to define in WSDL, through which it is publishing all the services publicly and making discovery. Discovery in the sense making monitor whether it is properly working or not. So these are the four things where it has to be acted in web services. One is WSDL, another is XML schema. The third one is SOA, that is a simple object access, and the fourth one, the UDDI. These are the four things we have to take consideration when we are dealing with the web services in service technology. Okay. And the second stuff of the service technology is REST, where REST full form is RE stands for representation. This representational state transfer from one state to another state, it is mainly designed for set of constraints as to shape for a particular service architecture to emulate the properties of www. Because every time when you are accessing any unauthorized websites, it is blocking the things because of the constraints it is defining. It is blocked that one until unless we are allowing that scripts, allowing the scripts into the web, into your browser, it not be allowed to access that. So REST services do not have individual technical interfaces, but instead of having, it will share a common technical interfaces that is known as uniform contract. That is, we have URLs, right? So uniform contracts, they are going to be sharing with the help of that. There is no separate technical interfaces because REST is a representational state transfer, moving from one to another. It does not care about the APIs, application programming interfaces. There is no technical interfaces for that, which is typically established via the use of HTTP methods. So in web technology, hope you remember the last unit talks about the servlets, where the HTTP, we have different methods are available. With the help of that HTTP request, HTTP response, we are going to be accessing this REST services. Not only that, the 6 REST design constraints we are having. One is the client server, the design constraint. Second, stateless. Third, cache. The fourth, interface or uniform. The fifth one, contract layered system. And the sixth one, code on demand. So this design constraints are going to be used to emulate the properties of your worldwide webs. Means wherever you are going to access the services, we require web, no doubt about that. To make sure that one, we are going to have some restrictions in the design part of it, because markup language, what is the main objective for presentation? Presentation is what? How best you are designing your page, how best you are designing your web service. If it is normally showing text format, if any Amazon product only in the text format without having showing the product how it look like, what are the different sizes, if you not allow to have a video sample video how it the product enter product look like in 360 degrees, how front view how the product will look like, back view, top view, and different angles how that product will look like with the different sizes of different combination, different colors. If you're not showing in a representational format, then it is not that much of good appearance to purchase a product by the consumer. So in that fashion, this REST services will be taken care on all these 6 design constraints through the client server exchange, through the stateless, through the caching, the interface uniform, or the contract layer system, or code and demand. So these are the 6 REST design constraints ordered. The third one, third stuff in the service technology is a service agent. So service agent means like Amazon is acting as agent. So service agent or event driven programs. So event driven programs means whenever you are calling for an event, raising an event, purchasing a product or something, transferring the money in the phone pay. So this event driven program designed to intercept messages at runtime. Because why they are calling intercept messages at runtime means we don't know, the Amazon don't know what the product you are going to purchase, or the phone pay doesn't know to whom which account you are going to transfer it. At runtime it is deciding, at the span of time it deciding what event you are triggering to drive and to act for that event, how the backend program has to be run, right? So there are two service agents out there. One is active service agent and passive, where active service agent can intercepting and reading the contents of the messages. That agents are called as active agents. Where the agents that don't have the change of message content, then there is called as passive. So active can be allow for intercepting and reading the contents of messages, whereas passive service agent not allow to do any changes of that. So in phone pay also, we can have the when you transfer the money, when you make a transaction, there you are not an active service agent, because in phone pay any banking transaction has done, you are not supposed to delete that transaction. It is not allow you. Whereas in WhatsApp you are an active service person, because you can delete that one. Now recently in the group also, if you want to delete for entire, delete for me, delete for entire, that also you can do it. But for few of the services, it will, you will act as a only passive service agent. But for few you are acting as an active service agent. It depends how they are giving for the consumer, whether active the consumers or passive. It depends on that. So most probably cloud-based environments rely heavily on the use of system level and custom service agents to perform much of the runtime monitoring and measuring requirement to ensure that features, that is elastic scaling or pay for use billing, any can be carried out instantaneously. So instantaneously, once you are going to be creating for that instance to make use that, based on that, we can be make that elaborate elastically. They can increase the scaling, or we can use for pay for use of the services. Like any one of this, you can make sure that any one of this you can make sure to have done at runtime. Okay, so this service agent can be for event driven programs, and mainly the focus is for design for intercept the message at runtime. The last stuff of this service technology is service middleware. Service middleware we are going to use it, like we are going to using a platform, middleware platform called as mom, that is message oriented middleware platform. The main objective of this one is primarily to facilitate, means to show the path, facilitate integration to sophisticatedly service middleware platform designed to accommodate complex service composition, to accommodate complex service compositions, in the sense when we have this middleware, it will be acting as to provide the messages to transfer between the two parties, how good you are going to provide it. It will be act as a platform. So most of the common types of middleware platforms relevant to service computing is, one is ESB, that is enterprise service bus. The second one is orchestra platform. So coming to the first one, enterprise service bus. Service bus, normally bus means what? In your uh, desktops there is a bus, right? Bus means a communication channel to provide a service. What type of service you are providing? Enterprise. Enterprise in the sense for business oriented. Now encompasses a range of intermediary processing features, including the service brokerage, routing, how has the service goes to, via which, and message queuing facility. Providing of all these features will be composed in this ESP. That is the first platform, as in the service middle layer. That is the first middleware platform, that is ESP. In orchestration, normally orchestra, you heard about that one. Orchestra is a mixture of a song, background music, and some sort of a other adding of some tunes over there is orchestra, right? So orchestration platform means it is a combination of different things and environments. It's not an environment, environments are designed to host and execute workflow logic that drives the runtime composition of services. Now multiple services you are going to be adding at the runtime. So like for providing all that runtime composition of services, it will be act as this platform, will be act as a to provide an environment through this orchestration platform. So we have two different middleware platforms are available. One is ESP, where it is focused mainly on enterprise service bus, and the second one is mainly focused on orchestration platform. So what we have discussed in this classes, we have seen the web services, like the web services as the four: WSD, XML schema, SOAP, and UDDI. And in the second sub stuff, we are going to talk about representational state transfer, where it is mainly focused on set of constraints, where we have six REST designs constraints over there. That is client server, stateless, cache, interface or uniform, contract layer system, code on demand. The third one, service agents. The service agents mainly focuses on event-driven programs. We have two types of service agent, active and passive. And the fourth is service middle layer. It is mainly focused acting as a MOM, business-oriented middleware. We have two types of middleware platforms. One is ESP, which is the enterprise service bus, and second, orchestration platform. So this about the service technology.